Today, I want to talk about food cues, what they are, and how they affect you every single day, probably just about every single waking moment of your life. Welcome to Tippy Live. My name is Tippy Live Now. I'm a registered nurse and a certified food addiction counselor. And today, in this week's live, I would like to talk about a term called food cues. Basically, food cues are these visual or smelling or hearing. We hear these things that basically hint to us or bring up a memory about food. And what it basically does is it tempts us or stimulates us to want certain foods. Now, the food industry uses food cues pretty much 24/7 to influence the choices that we make about food. That is why I am always saying it is not just a matter of personal responsibility and learning how to eat less and move more. There are outside influences that are constantly and messaging and that is constantly bombarding us and reminding us and sort of bringing up to our consciousness these desires and these thoughts that we wouldn't necessarily have if these food cues and these hints and conjuring up these memories, if they wouldn't happen. So here's a perfect example. Okay. I worked for many years in the pharmaceutical industry. And when they opened up a bakery shop in the lobby of the children's hospital. And every single time I would walk into the building of the pediatric hospital and I would pass this bakery in the lobby, there's to be this amazing smell of these like vanilla croissants being baked like right now in the oven. And of course, every time I passed that bakery, I would like look inside and see what they're selling. And sometimes I'm like, say, like, hey, maybe I'll buy myself a cup of coffee now at the bakery. Now, here's the thing, right? They weren't baking croissants exactly at that moment. What they were doing was they were using fans to blow out into the lobby a chemical that actually is a smell of baking croissants, which would make people want to eat a freshly baked good. And they would go, maybe the thought that would come up to their head would be, maybe I'll go get a cup of coffee. But what they're really thinking about is getting some kind of cake or some kind cookie or something with the coffee. And of course, all the baked goods are out there beautifully arrayed in like glass, right? Clear glass things. Now, you couldn't walk into the lobby without smelling this smell. And it is a food cue that was done specifically to conjure up a memory of freshly baked goods and make people want to go into the bakery and buy. And that bakery was always full. One day, I walk into the lobby, no smell. Obviously, maybe I don't know what happened, if people complained about it, something happened, but the bakery stopped blowing that smell into the lobby. There was no smell. It was the same bakery. It was the same baked goods. No smell. That is why usually in supermarkets now, they'll bake bread locally, not because sure, they're offering fresh bread. That's wonderful. But it's the smell of the baking bread that make people hungry and make them buy more. That's how research has shown that people who are smelling it, they buy more. When now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the last years in TV series, right? They'll drink alcohol. It'll make you want to drink alcohol, but they also eat snacks. A lot of times there'll be a series where people are eating snacks in the middle and stuff like that. And it makes you want to go and get a snack. All the visual food cues that we have, in the signs, when you going down, driving down the highway, and there's these huge billboards showing these beautiful and wonderful foods. It makes you want to eat them. Now, nowadays, we are being bombarded 24/7 with these food cues that really they influence so much more than you think, even subconsciously, the choices that we make about what we're going to eat, when, and why. Now, here's the thing. As things stand today, we can't really change what, if somebody's going to eat a snack on a TV show or not. And we can't control maybe what's put on the billboards. But what I'm going to teach you in this live, and this is my tip for you today, is at home, you can lower the food cues so that people will make more healthy choices. You can use the influence that food cues have to make people eat healthier things. And here's how to do it. First of all the junk food should not be out on the counter. Okay? Don't put cookies in a glass jar. Maybe it looks pretty, and maybe it sort of gets this message that, people, that this house, there's nice things, but it actually is making people eat cookies maybe when they even don't want to, or more than they intended. So the junk food should be in closed packages where you don't see them, and also on shelves that are not at eye level, in the back of the fridge, at the top, at the bottom. The ice cream in the freezer should not be on the middle shelf. It should be on the top shelf and in the back, and maybe something else in front of it. On the other hand, you can also help yourself and your family eat healthier things if you leave out foods that are healthy choices. When my kids were young and they were living, my kids don't live at home anymore, but many days what I would do is I worked full time. So many times they would come home and I wasn't home yet. I would leave out a bowl of very nicely, aesthetically placed sliced vegetables, and I would put it on a plate and I would wrap it like nicely in like clear cellophane, and it looked very inviting. And I would put out this like little note that said like eat me or something like that. And many times I would come home from work, and the kids had been in home for an hour or two, and I saw that the plate was, they had nibbled at these vegetables in the plate, because that's what was out. That's what they saw. There's this psychological, principle. What you see is what there is. So if there's only outside, like showing in your kitchen, cookies and cakes and the croissants that somebody bought yesterday, or like that half a pizza that was left over, even if it's like disgusting cold pizza, somebody might like actually take it and take a bite. But if there's vegetables and fruit and, let's say, natural nuts out, right? The natural nuts, these are the things that people are going to nibble on. That's also why, for example, I always suggest to parents of young children, put out fresh vegetables to eat, or healthy choices to eat, even if there's pasta or there is pizza there, if there's a salad there. If it doesn't matter, don't make the kids eat it. Don't tell them eat your salad first. Just put it there. Just let them see there is a food cue every single day at dinner of a healthy choice of food. We can use this principle of food. The food industry uses food cues for profit. The most profitable foods that there are the foods that are making us sick. They're making us diabetic. They're making us obese. Those are the food cues that the food industry is sending to us, okay? Because those are the most profitable foods. But we can use the principle of food cues to help us and our families make healthier choices in the places where we have control over the environment. So remember, it's not just about you and what you're choosing. The environment has a huge influence on what we think about, what we remember, and even what we want and what we do. Use it for better and healthy eating. I hope you enjoyed this live, and if you did, pass it on. And remember, if you would like to eat healthier, but it's just like you feel like it's mission impossible. You may be addicted to sugar. And if you are, or if you'd like to do a sugar detox, even a temporary one, and you know that this is a good idea to really like just cut out all these sugary, starchy, hyper processed foods, but you just feel like it's mission impossible. You don't know even where to start. I have available the Sugar Detox Starter Kit. This is a digital course that really teaches you how to prepare for a sugar detox, whether you want to do it for 2 weeks or for a month, or maybe just really quit sugar for life. It is the first critical steps to do to make this doable, to make it actually a success. So you can get that in if you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description of the video. There's a link to it. If you're watching this on Facebook, then you will see it in the comment section. There will be a link for the Sugar Detox Starter Kit. There's also lots of really cool free stuff that you can get. Check the links that are in this around this video, and please sign up to my YouTube channel and sign up to my newsletter, because then you will get the Sippy Live every single week, which is put live on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel every Monday, 7 p.m. Israel time, which is 9 8, which is, sorry, I can't remember anymore, 12 p.m. EST. So see you next week. Have a wonderful day, a beautiful evening. Love you guys. Bye-bye.